Hey, comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. And fans, yes, you're back with me once again, Mike Spider Slayer, bringing you the debut episode of Marvel Classics. That's right, fans. Now, this is basically, I guess you want to say, a spin-off series off of Spidey Classics, which that will be in its own entity so I can keep reviewing Spider-Man comic books. But I know I have discussed what I wanted to do when it comes to a classic comic book series, and what way to kick off a series by having it focused around Marvel Comics from the past, especially since Secret Wars is just starting and our Marvel universe is changing. What better way to relive the Marvel universe of old and talk about some of these older comics and older things that have happened to certain characters and things of that nature. So that's how it came to be, and call it Marvel Classics. So with that being said, let's get started with the first ever episode. And today we're going to talk about issue number 1 of the West Coast Avengers. Now, this is not issue number 1 of the main series. This was the first appearance of the team in a 4-issue limited series. And in this cover here, we get to see Hawkeye, and you get to see a whole bunch of other heroes here that could be part of Hawkeye's new West Coast Avengers. And so back in the day when this was made in 1984, you could imagine that there's no internet back then or any way to really spoil what was going to happen in these books. So you got to sit there and go, wow, what's the mystery here? Who are these characters going to be? And, as a comic book reader back then, you got to sit there and go, man, I can't wait to read about this new Avenger team that's coming around, and they're going to be on the West Coast, which is in California. This book is written by Roger Stern, and the artwork is done by Bob Hall. Nice artwork in the book. When I was reading this book, I quite enjoyed it. There was good colors. The book holds up for me, at least, and it has that nostalgic feel to it. There we have Bobby in there, Mockingbird. She's in there as well. Vision's in here, Jarvis in here. Tigra's in this actual issue too. I thought she had really good facial expressions in the book. Made her like the sex symbol in this actual issue as well. Iron Man was in this issue, and you got to appreciate that old newspaper print, and you got to look at the little sparkles on his actual armor. And it was really cool. And again, there's Tigra there, so she's like the sex symbol, and she was drawn really nice in this issue. So I appreciated the artwork here for this comic book. So it really holds up to today's, I feel, standard. So really awesome there. So what was this story about? Well, and then overall, what did I think about it? Again, Avengers Assemble. That's the battle cry here, right? And Clint's trying to, he's the leader here, but there's no Avengers yet. So he's trying to come up with this team of gathering people. And of course, he's got Bobby with him, and and they're making an Avengers. They're searching for people, and the reason why they're doing this is so they have both the United States covered. One on one half, one team on one half, one team on the other half. And Vision is in control, I think, of the New York Avengers at this particular point in time. And this is why they came up with this expansion team. And so it's Hawkeye's responsibility to go out and recruit these people. So we wound up seeing that Tigra is hanging out with Jessica Drew, and she's trying to, she's insecure about her abilities, and at first you think she's going to team up with Jessica in the issue and actually work in her private investigation offices. But she gets the call from the Avengers saying that she has to make an appearance. And it's really cool because you go through this book being introduced a little bit on what these characters did or are currently doing. And it cycles through the team. And here you get to meet Simon, which is Wonder Man in the issue. And you get to see that he's a stuntman. And you find out he gets the call to go to the Avengers into this certain location. And then you meet Iron Man in this particular issue. But this is not the Iron Man that we all know. This is James Rhodes' Iron Man. Because at this particular point in time, Tony Stark's recovering from his alcoholism. So we get to see that. And you get to see the interaction between these characters for the first time, which was really nice. There was some cool dialogue moments in this issue. It was cool seeing the chemistry between these characters. And it really makes you feel that there's a cohesive universe at this point in time when it comes to these particular characters. So throughout the issue, you wind up seeing a mysterious invader come through. And they're doing battle against this character. And we're not sure who he is until his identity finally gets revealed, and it is the Shroud. You finally get to see him, and he most recently appeared in a Daredevil comic book just recently. So at first they thought he was a major bad guy, but he was called in by Jessica Drew to keep track of Tigra to make sure she was okay, because she was very secretive of telling Jessica where she was going. So after all the mishaps, they patched up the Shroud, and they actually invited him to be an actual member of the West Coast Avengers, but he declined due to the fact of being, he can't be undercover how he is trying to penetrate all the underground things that are going on. And basically that's it. And then you'll get to see what happens in the next issue with this team being newly formed. I thought this was a really good issue. I really enjoyed it for what it was. It was cool seeing Clint being the leader of this team. And it's not the strongest bunch of characters that we've all known. And they don't know that James Rhodes is actually Iron Man in this point either. Tiger thinks he's Tony Stark. So they all have their flaws. You know, Clint's not the perfect leader. Mockingbird's not the perfect superhero. Iron Man is not the true Iron Man. Tiger is insecure about herself. And, well, Wonder Woman's Wonder Woman. So this is a cool book. I really enjoyed it. I haven't read it in a long time, so it's hard to remember anything about it, but it's good to revisit these books. So after reading this first introduction to the West Coast Avengers, I gotta give this one a probably a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I'm not a huge fan of the Shroud, so I wasn't expecting that there, but everything else in the book would just really hit all the tones for me. So yeah, 4.5 out of 5 stars. If you guys have not read West Coast Avengers, the 4-issue limited series, go ahead and check out this very first issue. So fans, again, tell me your comments below on what you thought of this first episode of Marvel Classics. And fans, as always, thank you for watching Comic Book Corner 2.0. And until that next comic book review, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon. Bye.